I'm here with Mike Wilford, CEO of Twisted Pixel Games. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. And we're talking about Comic Jumper, The Adventures of Captain Smiley. Now, you guys have kind of built a reputation as makers of some little off-kilter games with some characters that aren't your standard meathead, marine types. Tell us a little bit about Comic Jumper and how that fits in.
Yeah, so it's more along the same lines, trying to make a kind of wacky character. Actually, it goes back quite a ways. The idea for the game comes from Josh Baer, one of our founders, and he's had the idea since he was in like 7th grade or something. So he's got, just like notebooks from study hall filled with drawings of the characters.
We've seen some footage of it, and it looks like his sidekick is right there, basically.
Star.
Yes, and he has his own personality that is often at odds with Captain Smiley. Tell a little bit about the inspiration for that.
Yeah, so I think the inspiration is just nonsense. Kind of like the same inspiration source for a lot of the things that's in Splosion Man. It like kind of doesn't really make a lot of sense, but you go with it anyway because it's funny. He wishes he was on the chest of another character named Brad. So he kind of has a little bit of a man crush on Brad, and he kind of, doesn't like Smiley as much, and they always bicker back and forth. But they're stuck together, of course, so they have to figure it out.
Now, Captain Smiley has a large smiley face for a head. Is that a mask or is that his head?
That's his head.
Bitten by a radioactive smile button?
Maybe that's the new story. I like that. I like that a lot. He's supposed to be, Captain Smiley, like generic superhero. Could be any superhero out of any kind of comic book, but he has to find his way to like kind of reestablish himself as being like a prominent hero, and so that's why he's got to jump into the other comic books.
Now he jumps, like you said, from comic to comic, and it looks like it's going from like gritty early 90s, late or mid 80s into 90s stuff to like old school Golden Age stuff, and there's been a lot of comparisons to the old Sega Genesis game Comic Zone. Is it something of an inspiration for it?
I mean, yeah, it'd be hard to say it's not. Of course, first of all, Comic Zone is an awesome game, so it's cool to be compared to it. But also, we do things a lot different from it too. So I want people to make sure they know, like, it is different. Like it's not so much jump into a panel, do some combat, jump into the next panel, rinse and repeat. It's more, when we do those comic panel transitions, or like sometimes we do page turns when you're like jumping from page to page, and when we do those, it's more like we savor the moment. It's like a really kind of special thing, and trying to make it really, cinematic. So there's definitely inspiration there, but I think there's more inspiration probably being drawn from games like, from the melee sections, Final Fight, from the shooting sections, Contra and Gunstar Heroes, and sliding down the side of a building, riding a Brad bot, all those things.
Can we expect to see any avatar rewards or avatar outfits that will match up with Captain Smiley?
Yeah, so, with the Maw, we were the first to give away like a premium theme for your dashboard. With Splosion Man, we were the first to give away avatar awards for free, if you're dudes to wear Splosion Man shirts or whatever. And then we're trying to do something new with Comic Jumper. I can't talk about it yet. I'm not, it's obviously we got to work with Microsoft to make sure they're cool with it and stuff, but we're trying to do something pretty cool and new that hopefully everybody will think is pretty neat.
Are there any plans for a Comic Jumper, an actual comic, either online or in print?
Yeah, so we've thought about that. And of course, we've had to actually build out at least portions of real comics for our game. Because as you see in the demo, you actually see like live action footage of the cover of The Adventures of Captain Smiley, and you jump into the comic. So we had to do some amount of that already, but it's a lot of work to create a comic book, and what amounts to basically 4 games in one. So that's something we might do later. It's definitely a cool idea, and it's something we would love to do, but we'll have to see.
And this is going to be an Xbox Live Arcade exclusive?
Right now, yeah, we're just focusing on Xbox Live Arcade.
Do you have a release date yet?
We don't. We're working with Microsoft, so it's up to them to determine the final release date. And right now, we're just heads down trying to make the game as awesome as we can.